So before we get started, I must admit I'm not a huge fan of desserts. It's just not my jam. However, if you give me a Spanish flan, I promise I'm gonna absolutely devour it. Anyways, today that's exactly what we're making, a classic Spanish flan, also known as an egg custard. Now the beauty of this recipe, we're not gonna use the oven, we're gonna do it all in the stovetop, yet the flans are gonna have that incredible texture and flavor like the traditional ones that are made in the oven. Folks, we're talking easy to make, just 3 basic ingredients, and with that first bite, an instant trip to beautiful España. This video is sponsored by Tienda.com. You know, La Tienda is an online superstore focusing on selling all things Spain for your home and kitchen, and they've been around since 1996. And like I always tell you, they have the biggest selection of authentic Spanish ingredients, like artisan Spanish cheeses, the famous jamón serrano and jamón ibérico, Marcona almonds, olives, the beautiful canned seafood from Spain, and all the spices you need to make your favorite Spanish recipes, among so many other great ingredients. And let me tell you, when it comes to cookware, they have the most amazing selection of paella pans that range in size from 2 servings all the way up to 50 servings, and they even offer classic grilling systems. That way you can always perfectly cook your paella. Folks, visit Tienda.com, let them know Albert from Spain on a Fork sent you there, and make sure you use coupon code on a Fork during checkout for 10% off your order. Let's begin by grabbing 6 cloves of garlic and roughly chopping them. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just so used to starting recipes that way. But seriously though, let's begin by adding in some water into a stock pot. And you want to add in enough water to cover your flan molds by a little over the halfway point. So as you're pouring in that water, add in one of the molds in there. That way your measurements are right on the money. And we'll heat it with a medium-high heat. At the same time, I'm going to add in half a cup of granulated sugar into a small fry pan, which is 100 grams, along with a 1/4 cup of water, which is 60 milliliters. And we'll heat it with a medium heat, and we're going to go for about 10 to 15 minutes here, or until we end up with a beautiful caramel sauce. And let me tell you, don't have to mix this mixture around, just let it naturally do its thing. After about 10 to 15 minutes, and we've ended up with a beautiful golden amber color, our caramel sauce is ready to go. And let me tell you, don't want to get this sauce too dark, otherwise it can easily get a bitter flavor. At this point, I'm going to remove the pan from the heat, and we'll evenly drizzle the sauce into 4 individual flan molds. You'll find a link where you can get the ones that I'm using in the description box below. However, to make this recipe, you can use whatever molds you like. For the next step, let's start making our flan base. I'm going to crack in 4 large eggs into a large bowl. Now to make this recipe, I'm using cage-free organic eggs, but you can use whatever eggs you like. But like I always tell you, on recipes that are this simple, the higher the quality ingredients, the better the overall flavor. And we'll whisk the eggs until they're well mixed. Once the eggs are well mixed, I'm going to start slowly adding in half a cup of granulated sugar, which once again is 100 grams, while continuing to whisk everything. Once all the sugar has been added and it's well incorporated into the eggs, I'm going to start slowly adding in 1 3/4 cups of milk, which is 415 milliliters, and once again, you want to continue to whisk everything together. Now the milk that I'm using is low-fat milk, but you can also use full-fat, non-fat, or even plant-based milk. Once all the milk has been added and everything's well mixed, I'm going to run the mixture through a fine sieve and into a pitcher. And let me tell you, by taking this step, it's going to ensure that your flan has a beautiful silky texture. Then we'll evenly pour the mixture into the 4 flan molds. And cover each one with foil paper. Okay, let's move back to the stock pot. As you can see, the water's now at a boil. I'm going to lower the fire to a low heat, and we'll add in our flan molds into the stock pot. And we'll place the lid on the stock pot, and we're going to go between 30 to 40 minutes here. This is enough time for those flans to be perfectly cooked through. And once again, very important, you want to be on a low heat here. If you use anything higher, those flans will easily overcook and you lose that beautiful silky texture. You know, you can always tell when you have the perfect temperature in the water. You do not want it to go to a boil. You just want it to be on a simmer. After about 30 minutes, these flans should be perfectly cooked through. Of course, every pan and stovetop heats differently, so it might take you 30 minutes or even up to 40 minutes. You know, you can always tell when they're perfectly cooked through. You just take one of them out of the stock pot, pierce it with a toothpick, and if it comes out cleanly, they are ready to go. And once again, you don't want to overcook these flans, otherwise they're going to lose their beautiful silky texture. At this point, I'm going to take all the flans out of the stock pot, remove the foil paper, and let them sit at room temperature. That way they can cool off. Once the flan molds have cooled off, I'm going to cover each one with saran wrap and then add them into the fridge for at least 2 hours, but they'll hold for up to 3 days. Once the flans have cooled off and you're ready to serve them, you just run a knife through the outer edge of the flan, add a plate over the mold and then flip it. Then we'll give it a quick shake and remove the mold. Check it out, folks. Our classic Spanish flan is done. An incredible recipe using 3 very simple ingredients and absolutely no oven. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. Seriously, 3 ingredients, no oven, and you get something looking this beautiful. Incredible silky texture. Here we go. Wow. 3 ingredients and you get such a great flavor. A classic Spanish flan, but we did it in the stovetop instead of the oven. Give this a try at home, perfect for the holidays or any time of the year, and I promise the flavors are gonna blow you away. Really quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, Edward J. Garrison, David Houston, Britt Saunders, Tandy Irvin, and Paul Whitfield. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego. It's a wrap, and we don't do a lot of desserts here on Spain on a Fork. But if they're going to be as good as this, we should start doing them more often. Hasta luego.